Okay. All right, you're coming back into harmonic order, which means that you're just remembering yourself in this experience. And as you're seated in this understanding, there's a beautiful unfoldment that you're about to witness happen during your space-time travels. So, and I'm hearing during specifically. So it could be, I'm also hearing the word duration. Let's go ahead and get a keyword for that. But I'm seeing this as you accessing higher ranges of yourself, tuning into higher ranges of yourself. What was the keyword there? Duration. I'm also hearing maturation. So spiritual maturation is remembering yourself as more non-physical than you are physical. So while you're immersed in the illusion of physicality, you're remembering yourself as an immaterial, eternal being. This is being the eternal light that forever guides your path. But I'm also seeing you're eternal for all of, you're everlasting for all of eternity. That's the word. Your timeless consciousness is everlasting for all of eternity. And this body is one of many vessels or instruments that's finely tuned and designed to assist the soul in completing any just intention that they want to be able to experience, any experience that they want to be able to participate in within the terrestrial plane. So it's celestial intentions that are anchored into this world. And I'm seeing you follow up on those. I'm seeing like a soul review happening in your field as well that you could be coming back into alignment with. Anyway, the keyword was duration, right? So let me see, because there's going to be a keyword here for you. So the length of time something lasts or continues. And the period between the beginning and end of an event or process. So this could be the duration of the meeting, depends on the agenda. This could relate to the spirit, soul, or inner consciousness rather than the physical material world. So this is some type of deeper intention that extends far beyond this construct that you're really remembering or coming back into alignment with. I'm hearing that could be feeling spiritually connected to this earth in many ways. Okay, and it could involve a deeper meaning, purpose, or higher awareness that you're anchoring into this experience. I'm seeing your awareness be with you, often linked to personal growth, truth, or connection to something greater than oneself. So you're growing and doing some kind of self-reflection. It also could be looking at life through the lens of the soul and no longer on the surface. So there's something that you've seen that you can't unsee. And that's a lot to do with what today's message was, okay? So with that saying was, that refers to something that was in the past. So I feel like this is something that you've already moved through. Binary star is the first message. I would say, like, excuse me for the chaos in this message, but there is a secret order to it. I trust that whatever I say in whatever order is going to land exactly the way that it needs to. So binary star is something that has always basically traveled your path. It talks about something that has always conversed on your path. I'll go ahead and read it. It talks about stars in harmony. Stars that are physically bound and that orbit a common point. Observing these stars is difficult but fundamental task for astronomers. Binary stars form part of the same system. One orbits the other. So I see this as, it's like parallel paths that are running, where this remembrance was always going to happen in this lifetime. I'm hearing it's one of the... Okay, all incarnations are important, but there's something about this specific incarnation that ripples out into so many other parallels for you. Like, there's so many lessons that you've moved through that have prepared you for everything that you want to be able to create, the ripples that you want to send out into this lifetime, the things in which you want to experience, the things in which you're helping or assisting those around you and experiencing as well in this interconnected system that you're participating within. So there's a mutual understanding that they share the same path. Unlike the optical doubles, they don't try to change the path of the other. There is an illusionary union. Simply by being, they belong and respond to each other through an inevitable harmonic dance dedicated to being. So you're not just doing in this physical realm, it's like you're doing it from a sense of being. You're doing it from a sense of being present inside of the body, inside of the self. Like, your awareness is anchored throughout your entire organism. So you're roaming this earth as your higher self in physical form, which is simply gamma perception. That's superhuman consciousness, but in the way where gamma perception is like, what would be the response of my higher self to this timeline with my family, this timeline with my friends, my relationship to my job, my career, my purpose. Like, how would my higher self respond to this, not just reacting? So you're entering a time where your biology is coming back into harmonic order. When I talk about biology, I'm talking about the anatomical body, the organism, the carbon-based life form, the avatar, the alpha vessel that you've incarnated into. And it's not something external that's happening to you. It's something that I'm hearing, accessing within yourself when it comes to broader ranges of frequencies. And frequencies are information, okay? There are frequencies that we call dimensions. And within those dimensions hold certain information that you're now able to access that you weren't able to before. And I'm seeing able-bodied, which is saying that something that had been disabled, which was probably the fact that your infinite potential and that had lain dormant up until the moment that your consciousness or fractal awareness began to wake up in the system, and you now are conscious awareness, right? You're a fractal of awareness that begins to behave very, very differently because you're seeing yourself very, very differently and your potential on this planet. Oof. So yeah, the house of cards have fallen, right? The house of cards have fallen when it comes to the illusion that you are only physical in this construct, right? That you are bound by this system. No, you were here co-creating with the system. Now, I'm seeing expansion where you've been operating through the most basic DNA strands, which is just like the physical, right? But now you're becoming aware that you are a creator within this system. And that's the multidimensional aspect that was always there that you're now able to see clearly. So golden hour talks about a spatial or special light that's going to lead to some type of insight. Binary star is information that has always been transversing your path, right? It's always been running parallel to you, but there's now a collision that's happening. So that could come through the form of like a deja vu. It may be an insight. It may be a person that says something to you. It could be an epiphany that you're going to be receiving, but this is literally information that's been running parallel and now your paths are crossing. That's what this is. This could come through the form of a person. It may be an opportunity, but I feel like it's going to be an internal revelation. I'm seeing like Uranus type of energy. So that could be like something that feels like it comes out to the blue. It may be something that feels like, it's very sudden and it's unexpected. It's a moment of destabilization that needs to you seeing yourself very differently. There's an area of your life that ends up becoming destabilized, but it becomes the very reason for your transformation. It's designed to shake up things in your reality, whether that's the way that you see yourself. That could be an awakening that happens. That's where the human condition lifts and you see life through the lens of the soul. You see yourself for what it is that you truly are. Welcome if you are here for the first time, by the way. It's not your first time. That's what I'm hearing on this planet. You've come back to this remembrance again and again and again. And I'm just seeing this thing that's kind of broken open and you're remembering yourself as light, right? You're becoming enlightened. So I'm seeing a frequency shift as there is a system within you that has shifted. It's like solar field energies that are now moving through high octaves. So your range of perception has expanded, where you're no longer limited to just the visible spectrum of light, the rainbow body. Instead, you're beginning to feel more, you're beginning to sense more. I'm hearing you're beginning to remember more and know more. And it's not because you're learning it, it's because it's already encoded within you and it's just becoming accessible once again. It's just becoming unveiled. Now, the message that you have also is the order of the Melchizedek, which is about being embraced by light, your mission becoming uncovered and that lighting you up. Okay, this says don't give up. So can you see what I'm seeing, right? When we talk about something binary star transversing your path, running parallel until there's a world-line collision where there's a spatial light, a special light or insight that you receive, there's a mission that is uncovered, okay? Do you get my drift? We're going to go ahead and read this in a minute, but I want you to see the characters that you're embodying. There's 3 characters that came out for you. The first one was distraction, siren. So that is about your life force being externalized in this realm towards the material plane to the point where, as you've called your awareness back to you, you've began to come into coherence once again, right? You're no longer entangled with the material plane. You're able to observe it, interact with it while not becoming enmeshed with it because you see it clearly. You see something that you can't unsee. Then you had memories, which is about you've been some kind of octave of yourself, you've been a version of yourself from the past, and who you've had to be in order to get here is no longer who you need to be moving forward. If we were going to rewrite your story and fear was an illusion, it was no longer a factor, and the past was just an illusion, and you woke up now, you've incarnated into this body, you've now anchored into the system, you've remembered yourself, what would you choose to do from this moment moving forward? Then you have face your fear, which is fear is still, as a multidimensional being, an octave or voice within you that you begin to observe. When you begin to observe that you're not your thoughts, you're not your emotions, you become greater than your mind, you become greater than your emotions, and then you have mastery over the physical realm because you first mastered your mind and emotional state of being. So we're going to go ahead and read these as well, but then check this too, right? I feel like we have a lot to kind of catch up on here. Gathering around the power of community talks about community that you're going to be receiving help from, but not just in the physical realm. This is about celestial light helpers. Again, as you're tuning into higher bandwidths of frequency light, you're tuning into a high octave where you can now see things in resonance. I'm hearing format, which is super interesting. So if you think about a format, that's usually a layout, but I'm seeing the layout when it comes to the interconnected database that you're existing in, like the web of Indra. There's some kind of format that's being revealed when it comes to dimensional fields that have always been coexisting around you that you're now finally able to interact with coherently, right? So this talks about basically summoning up celestial helpers that are going to assist you in being able to actually unveil this mission. I'm hearing unravel this mission, because all you're doing is experiencing something that has already exists in the quantum, and you're just pulling it down from the ethers into the material plane. So I'm seeing that you're softening into almost alpha state where there's higher frequencies that are running through you. There's a deeper intelligence that's desiring to move through you, and you have this expanded awareness as you move through this system. And I'm talking about the system not just being this construct, but this system, this divinely tuned instrument that is designed for you to accomplish and experience all it is that you've intended to. So your body is the vessel that's processing information, and the earth is the interface of this intelligence that you get to interact with, that you get to co-create with. Gaia is here to assist you in that mission as an extension of herself. So there is some type of heart alchemy that's taking place where you're falling in love with yourself, you're falling in love with your own potential, and your transduction system. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look at this with Order of the Melchizedek, because I see this as not just you experiencing reality, but you're the system that's transmuting it. And when I say that, I mean that you're the processor, you're the alchemist, you are the bridge, you are the interface. And what you're feeling right now when it comes to this fear, right? This fear is not just yours. This is your bloodline, it's your past selves or parallel selves that all moving through the body to be integrated finally. It's like you get to clear, you get to sit with what arises, you get to expand your capacity to hold more frequency, to hold more love, to hold more light, to hold more awareness into your organism, to access more of your mind, to access more of your DNA. And within your DNA also stores many gifts that you are beginning to streamline into the things in which you're creating and the gift in which you are. So the biggest message from the Melchizedek is that you've learned so much, and you are now recognizing all the great lessons your experiences and challenges have brought you. The Order of the Melchizedek is coming to you today to encourage you to continue on this path and to not give up. Even in moments of darkness and fear, there is an opportunity for you to share your light. If you're feeling overwhelmed, it's imperative for you to know that you're not alone. Light is with you and within you. And by invoking spiritual support, you will be able to muster up the strength, courage, and focus that you need to surmount whatever challenges you face. Super beautiful, right? Then check these. The first message from distraction is many are the distractions as you go on your journey. Your goals may change, but understanding what you value and what lights you up is paramount. Every hero needs a North Star so they can find their way back to their path. So the North Star is actually the heart. If you talk about Regulus and the Royal Watchers, these are specific fixed stars or, archangels. This is Archangel Raphael that is encoded into your field at a specific time of birth. And I'm just seeing that like your heart is your North Star. right? So follow where your heart is guiding you. If you're scattered, see the people or things that maybe kind of, you may be misdirecting your focus on away from your true goals. And if you've been lost in the pursuit of like frivolous things or things that have been bound to the material plane, then stop, breathe, and simplify and get back to your truth so that you can get back on track. So this is a time to kind of like just be compassionate and hold yourself accountable. And then you have memories. So you can reinvent yourself at any time that you choose. There is no way that you are. And this is I almost want to say, the biggest distortion that so many of us, for some reason, get so caught up on. It's like we have this strong desire to remember ourselves, but when we over-identify with our stories, we victimize ourselves, or we believe that we're those stories or those events from our past. There is a part of you that's untouched by time and unaffected by the things that have occurred during your space-time travels. So if you can see it clearly, and you can see yourself clearly, and first of all, not see yourself as separate from that experience, but being in this interconnected system, and say, what was I teaching myself through the form of another me? What was my vibrational state at the time of drawing in that experience? That's what a truly enlightened being does, because they see themselves as a light being once again. You look back at those circumstances no longer from the wounded self, but the healed and integrated self. To become healed is to become whole with the experience. To not see yourself as separate from it in any way. You were that experience, whether that was a point of destabilization, whether that was... I'm even seeing like somebody losing a house where you were teaching yourself as that house how to ground and anchor security and stability into your vessel, and no longer placing that in an external thing. Okay, that's what this is. And that could have also been a partnership of some kind. Super interesting. Understand that house is a temporary construct and home is where the heart is. So there's something that was always pulling you inwards. It wasn't away from the world, but it was pulling you inwards to realize the world inside of yourself, to remember the world inside of yourself. Now, this also talks about, but if you don't become aware of this, you'll be locked into one way of being. If you feel like a stuck record, let go of the myth that you're only one way and free yourself to consciously choose who you want to be in each moment. When you're attached to a certain memory, especially the ones that cause you to suffer, you too, yourself, and you trap yourself as well as others. If you see others through your memory of them, you'll keep them locked into your past. In your eyes, they'll be frozen in time. Then you also have face your fears, right? Face your fears talks about many times in our lives, we must enter the dark forest of our fear. At these points, we can either turn and run away or move in deeper to face our fear and overcome it. Each fear we overcome unlocks power and increases our capacity for compassion. If fear has you in anxiety or panic, breathe. Fear is often about future events. What could happen is not what is happening. Are you safe right now? Don't let the mind pull your awareness into fearful future tripping. So being present. Then you have the celestial light helpers, which is, let me read this for you, gathering around the powerful community, being safe and secure and allowing help. So there is also assistance in which you're calling in. I'm hearing to assist you in navigating these kind of next steps, even if that is in non-physical assistance, all right? That bleeds into, advice or confirmation, right? That could be through synchronicities or experiences that come into your reality, right? So there are times when you need positive reinforcement from others. Perhaps your journey has made you tired before reaching the proverbial finish line, where your friends await to cheer your arrival. Know that you're not alone, regardless of whether you think that you are. People gather around you to help with your next step in order to bring it forth from the cosmos and into the beauty of life. There's never been another you before, and you have a unique relationship with your friends, families, and communities, and all those that gather to help you in the unseen realms. Now is the time to allow assistance from others, ask for it, and trust that you can receive it and that you're safe and secure right now in this moment. Truly supported in your beautiful, amazing, complicated life. You're heard by angels, witnessed by the divine, and loved. Yes, loved now and always by life itself. Whatever your query, you will find the help that you need to achieve what you desire, and you will not have to do this alone. Count on it. Even if there is an illusion that you're doing this alone, if you saw, and I know so many of you do, how surrounded you are, this isn't about you becoming anything new or discovering anything new. All that's happening is your awareness is tuning into things that have always been, I'm hearing, coexisting and co-present within your field. That's all it is. It's a remembering, to remember something that was always there, right? And you're not expanding by force. You're now being called to expand by allowing yourself to become available, okay? Available and receptive to everything that was always within your field. You're not just this system, but you're the system that is becoming aware of itself. So let's close out with one of these messages. Okay, beautiful. We have, do I perceive that everything is connected? Right? This is so on point. Do I perceive that everything is connected? Then at the base, you have, do I see my own beauty? Do I see my own beauty? Nature, woman. Do you see the beauty in you being all things and all things being you? You are everything and everything is you. Universe is one single emanation, difference and only seeming. We had the zero and then we had the breaking of the zero, the first one, right? Fractal awareness that got to experience itself subjectively. And then there were many other ones that were distributed in the system, many different subdivisions and expressions of source. But we are all that one that has emerged from the zero. Infinite subjective lenses in which source gets to experience itself through. And how beautiful is your subjective, unique, energetic signature? And can you appreciate the diversity, the complexity, the intricate? I'm hearing sometimes what can seem like polarizing, but really it's just holding space for the contrast. How beautiful is it to have contrast in the complexity of our own intricate, unique designs? Can you find beauty in the contrast? Can you find beauty in being in the eye of the storm? Can you see the cosmos amongst what appears to be chaotic and a secret order that unfolds within a system that appears to be disorderly? It doesn't make sense to the mind because it's not meant to. So I'm gonna love any of you right there. Let me know. I have a question for you in the comment section. Do I perceive that everything is connected? What is something that you found that you previously wanted to reject, whether that be a person, an event, an experience, that you're now seeing as another version of you? What have you been able to integrate? What it was the biggest, let's say, not obstacle, but opportunity for you to heal in this lifetime? What was that? So, and how did you do it? Let me know. I'm gonna love any of you right there. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing. We'd love to have you around. I'd love to have you around. Personal reading details are also down below. There's a waiting list from April 20th onwards. And also check out Autistic if you're looking for some high quality AAA grade jewelry. I think that was a bug. I have rhodonite on today, kunzite, and rose quartz. Okay. One of the proceeds are donated towards otter sanctuaries. And yeah, I'll speak to you very, very soon, I hope. Until next time, bye.